this is Sergeant Milburn and welcome back to another one of our virtual lessons that we're going to be doing here. Today's video is just going to be a refresher on how to polish your shoes. We've got a big stretch of time ahead of us, and in that time we might as well make our shoes as good as they can possibly be, ready for when we come back to the squadron. This video is going to be split up into 3 parts. The first part is for our newer cadets, so we're going to be learning how to use brushes and how to get layers on our shoes. This is how to get started with polishing our shoes. The second part is going to be how to build up that glossy texture on the toe cap of your shoes and bulling with a cotton wool ball. And the third part is going to be very similar to the second part. We're going to be still working on bulling, working how to get that glossy texture, and this time we're going to be working with a cloth. Before we start polishing our shoes, we need to clean them. I'm just going to take this cloth, it's dry, any cloth will do, and start dusting that over my shoes. Just to remove any bits of dust or dirt or little cracked off bits of polish, just so we're not polishing that into the shoes, which could make the layers unsteady. Alright, so as I said, we're going to be starting off to begin with brushes. This is going to be to build up the layers on your shoes, and you want to be doing this until you can no longer see the leather texture come through on your shoes. For this you're going to need 2 brushes, one for putting on the polish and one for taking off the polish. We're going to start with our first brush. We're going to dip it in the polish. We're not taking massive chunks, just very little polish at first, and we're going to start brushing it onto our shoe. Just in small circles, just to one area, and you're not looking for streaky brush marks because then you put too much polish on. You're going to want to spread that out a little bit more. You're looking for kind of a matte area which is completely covered with polish. Once you've done that, you're going to take your next brush, which is your brush that we use to take off the polish, and we're going to use long strokes, not very much pressure at all, just brushing off this polish on here. When you're finished doing this, it should leave a nice shiny area on your polish. You should still probably be able to see the leather texture coming through if you're just starting out. However, it's no longer going to be matte, it's going to have a nice shine to it. Not glossy, but shiny. You need to do a fair few layers of this. When you're just starting out, you need to do this until you can no longer see the texture of the leather come through onto your shoes before you can move on to the bulling with the cotton. Okay, so now we're ready to start bulling the shoe to achieve that glossy finish on the toe cap of our shoe. Of course, if you have female shoes, we need that glossy texture all around the shoe if we can, but for now I'm just going to focus on the toe cap. To bull using this method, we're going to need some cotton wool. Get a lot because it'll run out fast. You'll need some polish. I'm using kiwi because it's the best. However, now that we're in lockdown, I wouldn't recommend that you go out and buy kiwi. Any polish that you have will be fine. You'll also need water. I like to use warm water as To start, I'm taking a very small amount of polish onto my cotton wool, and then dunking it into my water. I then squeeze out the excess, making a point for me to hold, and a flat surface where the polish is. Starting with small circles and a very small amount of pressure, I'm applying the polish to the toe cap. It will start out matte, and then quickly turn into that glossy consistency that we're looking for. After applying the first layer, you should notice there isn't any polish left from the cotton wool. If you don't notice this, then you put too much polish on the cotton wool to start. Keep applying layers. An alternative would be to use a cloth to shine your shoes if you don't have cotton wool balls. You can take an old cotton shirt and cut it up into little polishing cloths like I have. Wrap the cloth around your finger like so. Dip it in the water and then wipe off the excess so that it is only slightly damp to the touch. Then take an even smaller amount of polish onto the cloth so there's only a small dot. Begin polishing in very small sections with a little more pressure. You shouldn't be noticing any water track marks when polishing, otherwise that means that you put too much water on to begin with. The more pressure that you use, the less water that you need. Keep applying the layers, making sure that you're covering all of the toe cap. Alright, I hope that video was of some use to you. If you just put a couple of layers on your shoes every single day, then by the time we get back to caution, your shoes are going to be absolutely pristine, ready for all the things that we have planned ahead of us. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.